Okay, we're back. Part two. So we're back to origins and insertions. I talked about the gluteuses. They're going to be extending the hip, and they're going to be externally rotating the hip as well. Another posterior muscle that we're going to be going over is the erector spinae, which originates in the sacrum, which is that triangle bone at the very small of your back. The tailbone's the caucus. I'm not sure if it inserts there, but it's right there, so it might. And then it's going to extend all the way up. It's going to insert in almost every rib all the way up. So we'll get into it more.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask the smaller muscles in the gluteus. Is that more on the side?
Yeah. Well, it's deeper. It's just below the maximus.
Like
and sorry.
Like a surface muscle, and then there's underneath.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we call it a superficial muscle is on top, and then the deep muscles are underneath. So the deep muscles are usually they're smaller and they're more stabilizing muscles. But in this instance, the minimus is actually going to externally rotate the hip. So from here to here, that's its prime purpose.
So what usually gets which becomes more the tight muscle, the bigger one or the smaller ones? Like when you have tight glutes.
Tight glutes.
Yeah.
It's going to be the main one. There's different stretches that will isolate the deeper muscles in terms of glutes, but and you're going to want to do them all to free up the glutes. So it's hard to say which one's going to be the main tight one, but I can show you some. Well, the pretzel stretch. You know, the pretzel stretch right on your back. That'll get the deeper ones, and then the pigeon stretch.
Oh, okay.
That'll get the maximus.
Oh, okay. Good.
So more on the erector spinae. It's actually a complex muscle group made up of many muscles and tendons. It's grouped into three strands. They are the spinalis, longimus, and iliocostalis, and they all have three muscles in them. That's a total of 9 muscles. So they act as stabilizing muscles for the lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spine, as well as for the posterior rib cage. So they assist in cervical extension. So cervical is your spine above your rib cage. Okay, and then there's it also extends your thoracic spine, which is your spine that's within the rib cages. So it's the vertebrae that have ribs attached to it. And then your lumbar is everything inferior to your ribs. So it performs extension, rotation, and then lateral flexion. That's what the erector spinae does. So a good strengthener for the erector spinae is actually back extensions. So you can do that with like a back extension machine, or you can put a Swiss ball underneath your hips and do back extensions like that. And then if you're aware of the cat stretch, so you get on all fours and really just curve your spine to the back. It's a good stretch for it. Okay, so we're talking the rectus abdominis now. So there's actually 2 parallel muscles in your abdomen, and it's separated by a connective tissue called the linea alba. Going horizontally, you usually have 3, sometimes 4 tendinous intersections. That's going to divide up the abdomen into 6, sometimes 8 bellies of muscle. So it's important to note you can work out each of these bellies, not so much individually, but I would say your upper abs can be worked out, targeted, and then your lower abs can be targeted. So it originates in the pubic region and inserts up into the sternum as well as the ribs 5 to 8, and then it'll be flexion of the lumbar spine. Okay, so you can do some good exercises, reverse crunchy, or and then there's lots of abs exercises. I'm sure you're aware of tons. So the more you do, the more variety you do, the better.
I was going to say it's probably important to make sure you balance the two, like the upper and the lower.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You're totally right. Upward dog is a good way to stretch it. It's a very important stretch. Upward dog. So we're into the obliques now. So the oblique muscles, they actually run vertically, but on opposite angles. So they're kind of from rib to iliac spine and rib to iliac crest. Sorry. And they're gonna work. So if you have your external from here to the iliac crest here, it's gonna contract, and your ribs are gonna go down and forward. At the same time, you have your internal oblique, which is it's originating back here on the iliac crest and inserting on like the front of the rib cage. It's gonna contract, and your ribs are gonna go down and kind of back. So it's the opposite. So the external works with the internal when you want to twist. Okay, and then when you want to just laterally flex, both internal and external, they'll work together on the same sides. So I mean, some side crunchies are, I mean, you get your obliques when you're doing legs. They get worked a lot. So a good way to stretch them is the standing side stretch. You want to see the standing side stretch? So arms up, reach as high as you can, and then one side at a time. You bring your arm down to your leg, and then kick your hip out, and arm goes over. Okay. Where's my mouse? Okay, so we're on to the glutees. We got maximus, medius, and minimus. End of part 2.